Hello, my friends on YouTube. How you guys all doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Anyhow, I'm coming to you today for things we're making Thursday. Now, if you happen to be new and you don't know what it is, last year, beginning of the year, a small group of content creators got together and each month they had a free pattern picked out and everyone made it and put their own spin on as to the type of yarn they used or maybe any alterations they had to make. This year they decided to switch it up, and what it is this year is they give you a theme, and you can either crochet, knit, possibly sew, depending if it will fall in with the theme. Now I believe this month's theme can only be done crocheted. I'm not sure, I haven't gone looking yet, if you can knit this theme or not. I will give it a look possibly this upcoming week. But this month's theme for August is granny squares. Now, when you think granny squares, you think the traditional granny square starting in the center, working your way out, either changing colors every row or every other row or whatever. I this year alone have made three granny square blankets, two in the blue white ombre type yarn. Back in February for the theme for blankets, and then the other granny square, and that was all done with one skein. There was no changing of the yarn or anything like that. And then I also made another granny square that was a blanket. There was multiple squares. There was 12 in total, and that was for a make along I was participating in at Duty Witch Peace Crafts, and it turned out really nice. And I do have, if you go back to my older videos, like my early videos, you'll see both of those. But I thought I would pull out a granny square blanket I've made in the past. This one is about a 46-inch by 46-inch blanket. I made it with, I believe it was either with Red Heart Super Saver or Value or something like that, or it was with Burnett. I think this was made with Red Heart yarn, but I'm not 100% sure because it's kind of soft, so I'm thinking it may have been with Burnett. But either way, I'm not sponsored by either one of those yarn companies. But I'm going to show you just the one square to start with. And you can see, make sure I got it on the right side, which I don't think I do. Okay, I do. I'm going to show you that the granny square can start any way. And hopefully you guys will be able to see this square. I'm just going to try to hold up the one. But hopefully you guys get a good look at that. This granny square blanket started with circles. And it's a 4 square by 4 square size and then trim around it. So I'll try to give you guys a good look of the blanket. In the edgy, I just did kind of a scallop type of shell idea. That's the border. And it does go all the way across and down the sides and along the bottom. And I just did a traditional granny square corner and then multiple double crochets in the corners. And then I love the technique join as you go when it comes to granny squares. But I did each square, same colors, but different combinations as the order. And it goes all the way down. And like I said, so that was row 1. And then here's row 2. And then row 3. I'm hoping I can get this in the camera because it's in front of my face. I can't see the computer. But I'm hoping you guys are getting a good look. And then row 4. Now with granny squares, like I said, there's so many different ways you can do them. You can do traditional granny square center. You can start as a circle, work your way out into a square. You can do granny squares where it's they're solid granny squares, so you don't have all these holes through each set of clusters of 3 stitches. And like I said, I think if every one of us that crochet look up how many different granny square styles are there, we'd all come up with a different number. There is so many different ways. so many different centers. Like you can start with flowers or other circles and stuff. I know there are different books out there dedicated just to granny squares and other forms of squares and such. And my opinion, any square is classified as a granny square. It doesn't have to be the traditional three clustered stitch and then the space, and then in the next space another three cluster stitch kind of thing. Um, I've made, oh boy, I think about 15 blankets now that I've got granny square themes. I made, and I don't want to offend anybody, and if I do, I'm very sorry, but I made a Christmas tree skirt years ago that was made with granny squares, and the way you joined it, it made it end up having peaks because you joined them in a diagonal, not in a square form. I've made a granny square stocking. I've made granny square sweaters. Like, I know you can do even a granny square. It could be like a 5-sided or a 6-sided, like a shape. And I know there are amigurumis out there that use those type of quote unquote granny squares, and they're actually like octagon or whatever shapes. And the way you sew them together will make a stuffed animal. Um, I've seen some really cute patterns for those. But like you can almost make, like I've seen so many different styles of granny square cardigans, like long sweaters. There are so many things you can do with granny squares. Now I don't think I'm going to make anything new this month. I am still trying to get my owl finished from last month's amigurumi. I've got the head done on it. Well, the head's crocheted, the body's over halfway done, and then I've just got to make the eyes, the nose, the ears, and put it all together, and the feet, and stuff it and everything. So that hopefully will be done within the next week. Um, and then I've got a few other projects I want to make. So I don't think I'm gonna make anything new for granny squares. Um, I'll probably just each week maybe show you something I've already made. If you would like to participate, you can either put up content videos or you can email your pictures to creators that can add them to their videos. I've actually learned how to do it through StreamYard, so if you want to send me pictures, you're more than welcome to. I will do my best to get them up and show what you've made. There's also a Facebook group called Things We're Making Thursday. You're more than welcome to put your pictures in there or anything, to be honest with you. Actually, while I'm sitting here, another item I made, I just realized it was sitting here, is a little bag. It's just made of 2 granny squares with a small little strap that can go over my wrist, and I have my sock yarn in it. So like, there's an idea for a granny square. Just make a small little bag type thing to hold your balled up yarn. I was just sitting here, and I just happened to notice it. Like, there's so many things you can do granny square wise. Like, I know you can even do a granny square like in a triangle, like a bandana type idea. I've got one sitting here somewhere, not 100% sure where. But I made one, and it's like one of those little headband triangle type things, and it's using the granny square stitch, but it's done in a triangle. So use your imagination. You know, love to see what you guys are all making. Have fun with it this month, and I will see you guys all soon. Love you and bye for now.